Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about class exit tickets. If you saw the webinar on class warm-ups, it's kind of similar to that. It's the idea of thinking quickly, using what students have learned in technology, applying it in a quick student-directed way. So class exit tickets are like that. Typically what people want to do with a class exit ticket is have students use whatever they learned in class, show that they've transferred that knowledge to some project, some quick skill that they're going to show you with the class exit ticket. So that's what we're going to talk about today, how to make that happen. Let me introduce myself in case you're just showing up and you haven't met me before. My name is Jackie Murray. I've been teaching K-8 technology for 15 years. I've been teaching for about 35 years. But K-8 and technology I really love. I think technology is the poster child for education reform. If you truly want to make education student-centered, student-driven, intriguing, make lifelong learners out of students. They're not afraid to learn. What they don't want to do is learn the way so often it is put in front of them. They're more than happy to learn all sorts of things in life. They learn their games and their YouTubes and they learn their Wiis and they learn all those without any problem. They learn sports because it interests them or it doesn't interest them and they don't want to learn it. So our job as teachers is to show them how exciting learning can be. I love learning. I think I'll be a lifelong learner. I am a lifelong learner, and I think that'll continue until my brain doesn't function anymore. There's so much that you get out of learning and exercising your brain. So that's what we want students to enjoy about school. I can't imagine why students wouldn't want to learn. Well, I take that back. I can imagine. What I want to do is get rid of those reasons and make it fun for students and energizing. So a class exit ticket is quick. Couple minutes, 5 minutes. The class warm-up is maybe 5 minutes. An exit ticket might be just a few minutes. So whatever you do, it's using your skill, but it's using it quickly. It's okay to ask students to work fast. It's okay if they don't get it perfect in the 2 minutes you give them for the exit ticket, because they're finding out what they could get done quickly, what can get done in that short amount of time. They're finding out they actually can do things faster than they thought they could. Those are all good skills. Life doesn't always give you as much time as you want. And often if we have as much time as we want, we kind of waste it anyway. It's just human nature. We think, oh, I've got lots of time. So students, it's okay to let them see that they can accomplish a lot in a short amount of time. So make that part of the project. You have 2 minutes. Do the best you can in 2 minutes. I'm not grading you on perfection. I'm grading you on process. Okay, so the exit ticket, they'll finish it by handing it to you or turning it in anyway. That might be publishing, that might be sharing, that might be emailing it to you, whatever way you set up, that's how they're going to be finished and then walk out the door. So you'll trust if they're walking out the door, they have communicated that sharing with you somehow. So you don't need timers, you don't need anything else. You're just saying, okay, you finish your project, do your exit ticket, you can leave. Now, if there's still 10 minutes of class left, that doesn't work. Then we put something in front of the exit ticket, like sponge websites. So some ideas for exit tickets. Sometimes they're the same as what you might use for a class warm-up. And I'll remind you, though, that these aren't, you're not going to spend your evening before setting up a class exit ticket, saying, okay, I'm going to make this, and I'm going to spend an hour making this form, and they have to go here, and they have to do this, and here's the directions, and they have to follow. You're not going to do that. This should not be your work. This should not make your job harder. So the exit ticket you pick is going to be something that, like, okay, you made a blog yesterday, Now, your exit ticket is to go comment on someone else's, to someone else's. That takes you no time. Somehow you have to communicate that to them. So you might throw it up on the smart screen for them, or you might have a student who comes up and says, Mrs. Murray, what's the class exit ticket? And I'll put it on the smart screen for everyone. And you tell them, and then they do it, and everyone's off and running. But this should not make your job harder, as shouldn't class warm-ups. When you add these pieces, you want to make them student-directed. You want to give students that independence, because in the big picture, it's not going to matter if the students are perfect on a class exit ticket or did their best or missed a few steps, because that's all part of discovering. I won't call that failure, because it isn't. It's they did the best they could, and that is good to know what that is. So never think that, okay, that you're giving me all this extra work. I'm absolutely not. Figure out how to offload it on the students. That learning, as they're learning to manage a class exit ticket, is valuable. As valuable as the history or the math or the social studies you're teaching them or the tech you're teaching them. So you make that someone else's responsibility. You delegate it. You put them in charge of their own learning. Okay, so keyboarding is a good way. Class exit ticket, have them keyboard something. Now, I probably not practice on the software, but keyboarding either a comment on a blog or a comment on a discussion board or forum or something like that, where you go, okay, I have a discussion item up for you, comment on it, 5 sentences. I have a blog post, add your comment to my blog post, 5 sentences. Comment on the blog post of friends, something like that. That's a good class exit ticket. They have to open the blog up. They have to figure out how to answer, those types of things. So let me step back a minute, though, because I want to put all these on, use Canva this time. I can't remember if we've used Canva before. This was a nice one. I wonder if I want to use that. Oh, I'm not going to use Canva. I changed my mind. I remember I was thinking of it. I might use this another time, because I think this would be perfect for a list for us. But let's go over here. I'm going to use Big Huge Labs. They have a magazine cover, and it's got enough lines. I could put 10 items there. My picture in the middle there. So let's find a picture that sounds like class exit tickets. I don't have a clue, but let me look at my pile of pictures here. It's going to be down here. What looks like a class exit ticket? Oh, puzzle piece. Does that sound like it? The last piece of the puzzle? Let's call it. Let's just say that's it. Okay, we got our class. We got our photo up there. I'm just going to center it. I'm going to leave that up. I try to make these as simple as possible because I don't want them to be hard for you. So I leave as much default as I want. Now, if you're doing this for some sort of a presentation, if you're going to use a magazine cover, or if you're going to have the students use it, absolutely have them pay attention to all of the choices, because that's part of the project. But here, we're not worried about that. Class exit tickets. That's our magazine title. Tagline: how students get out of class in 2 minutes. Sure, let's bold it. Publication date, today, price, free. Okay, line 1. So that first one was comments on blogs, forums, discussion boards. Okay, that's a good start. All right, so that's our first one. So another one could be to visit websites that support, have them take 2 minutes, 3 minutes on a sponge sort of website that supports inquiry in their project, in whatever class they're you're talking about. That could be on your internet start page. You definitely need some place in your classroom where you collect links for the students. It could be ProtoPage like I use. I like it because it offers options for much more than links. But it could be LiveBinders. It could be Pearl Tree. It could be Diigo. There's a lot of options. You pick one that works for you. So in my case, I'm having these box of links, and I would tell them something like, go to landforms. Well, let's look at 4th grade. Go to digital citizenship and spend your last 2 minutes. And once you've watched one of the videos, you have to come and tell me what happened in it, and then you can leave. So there might be a little bit of a lineup in your class as they're all coming and talking to you, but that's okay. You could combine it with a post on a discussion board or a forum. That would be fine too. Or maybe you could just have them email you with their comment on the blog that on the video that they watched, or answer you in a Google Apps form that you set up. Lots of things there, but make sure it doesn't take a lot of extra time on your part, because that's not our goal. Okay, Twitter. They could go on the Twitter feed, and they could just go quickly on Twitter and say, this is the answer to the exit ticket. Before I go to Twitter, let's add that we were on free comments. Okay, now we're going to do sponge websites, and then we're going to do Twitter for our 3rd line. Twitter. I have a Twitter stream set up for my class. So they'll go to Twitter, they'll post their Twitter, and maybe your hashtag will be class exit 47, whatever. And likely that's not going to go anywhere but your blog. So anytime they search for that, it'll show up as just on your blog. So a Twitter stream is perfect because it's fun for them. And then they might go in and comment on some of the other comments of the people on Twitter, of their classmates who posted comments on Twitter. So that's a very good class exit. You'll see we use that a lot. If you're joining me for the summer PD this summer with Ask a Tech Teacher, I'll be the master teacher for it. You will see that we use Twitter class exits a lot because they're so fun, they're effective, they're quick. You can't get carried away on them. 140 characters, you just can't spend too long on that. So we use them a lot. But as this child gets older, you want them to be able to cogently, pithily express their thoughts, not just throw up 140 characters. Oops, I ran out of room. Nope. So make it tighter. Tell me in tighter terms. Be more pithy about what you're saying. So you're going to have them practice that as they get older. Okay. Another good, and the last one I'm going to talk about for the class exit tickets, and this one is pretty all-encompassing. Use a tool. Use the tool students learned in class. Maybe they did something in their homework. They had to make a project with some web tool that they used. Maybe they did Wordle or Tagxedo. Maybe they did an avatar in Voki. Have them spend the last 2 minutes of class, and that's all they get. What can you do? How much of a Voki can you create in 2 to 3 minutes? And that's your class exit ticket. They can take a screenshot of it or embed it, whatever is faster for them. But you want them to be thinking fast, making these more routine, more habit, whatever they're doing. Since they just did that tool before, the night before, or the day before, or maybe just that week, it should come a lot easier. Then a couple minutes should be just fine for them. So let me go add this to I think I'll say it this way. Use a tool student is familiar with. Okay, so that's my lines. Let's see how that's a lot of room. Okay, was there another spot where I put our photo? Oh, that photo's going to go in there. Okay, so let's see what it looks like. Create. Oh, I really don't like that. Can't read it very well, so I guess you can read it. We just had 4. Okay, not the most exciting thing around, but that's the way it is. That's why we try these things. Now, I might do that in class, and I might use a tool that I've never used before and show it with students, and then I'll challenge them, make yours better, because this isn't very exciting. So I would challenge you. Can any of you go on Big Huge Lab, make a better magazine cover than I just created? I'm going to put this on our stream, and I'll post the question, can you do better? And then go ahead, feel free, add something that's better than what I just put up. But it does accomplish our goal, and you do see how easy and quick that sort of a magazine cover is. All right, guys, that's it for class exit tickets. So I will see you. Hopefully, maybe you'll join me for the Twitter webinar that's coming up. That would be great. Otherwise, I'll see you probably in a week. And we're running out of our year, aren't we? So have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye.